Hi Scorpio, welcome to the channel. We'll do an elemental clearing real quick. So have a cup of water over here. You guys just can't see it. So the Aquarius full moon, the second one of Leo season. Usually there's only one full moon per season, but this season there are two. Is the water bearer. It's an air sign, but the water bearer went into the Aquarius moon today. And the Aquarius full moon is peaking on the 22nd, master number 22. So some fire as we let go of Leo season and remembering the lessons of the season, both the high vibe and the lower vibes and everything in between. Just some fanning for some air. Aquarius moon. The harmonica for some air. And earth, my little fake plant behind. So Scorpio, the fixed water, and water can only be so fixed, and so Scorpio is the death card, the transformation card, inner transformation especially. Give it that's a plus for Scorpio. Scorpio, in the current energy, you are the Eight of Pentacles. So earth energy as we move into Virgo season here soon. The Eight of Pentacles can have to do with working on skills that have to do with the self, how you are functioning. It can also be sort of an overemphasis on perfectionism and could sometimes have to do with like work-life balance, but more so about being especially perfectionistic about the effort that you were putting in around your career, your sense of abundance around your money. And that makes sense, especially going into Virgo season, because Virgo placements tend to be quite perfectionistic, just really having high standards of the self. So really continuing to do your work, but sort of developing like a stress around it, like you're expecting everything that you're doing to be perfect. Challenge right now is choices. So the Seven of Cups for Scorpio, the water, for Aquarius, the water bearer. Just seeing that you have like a challenge is seeing like that there are so many options and so many ways to go and so many different ways to think about things, and you're just like looking at all these divine cups being offered to you in the sky and like maybe not necessarily sure about like what the next move would be, given that you have so many choices. And choice can be great, but they can also make decisions really difficult. Actually being offered less choice can make us a little bit more decisive in knowing what we want, but when there's so many things, it's hard to know exactly where to go next. In the recent past, you have the King of Swords, air energy here with the Aquarius full moon. So really working to develop clarity. You've been working to develop clarity, to communicate with people in a responsible way that is not cutting and that's effective. Learning to express your ideas and to have control over what the clarity of your ideas. So looking for clarity and looking for truth and really finding yourself in a very mature space with how you're sort of balancing that energy. In the near future, you have the Hierophant card, the Taurus card, the fifth major arcana card. So the near future might be sort of a grander divine moment for you than what you've been experiencing in the recent past and in presently with the major arcana. This is the fifth card. Leo season is the fifth sign. So maybe in the near future you are really working on some sort of spiritual institutional work that you're doing. So this is sort of the masculine side of spirituality, but sort of like really having more like the religious side of spirituality, which is really having ritual and a sense of, dogmatic practice about the way that you are experiencing your spiritual life. It's not just like, oh, anything goes, whatever the wind blows. It's like really formulating a little bit even more of like a strict boundary around what you consider to be a spiritual path. So this is not just the journey, it is actually putting the pieces in place to be able to have a structured set of spiritual life and tradition than possibly you had previously. And maybe not necessarily sure with all of these choices how to get on to that next step of being the Hierophant. Interesting in the recent past and in the near future. These are both like facing forward cards, so working towards clarity, how you're expressing your ideas in a more mature way, and this is developing into using this, newfound sense of how to express truth and ideas to work more specifically on the way that maybe you're expressing ideas around like a religious practice or around your spiritual tradition or institutions. In the above energy, what you are experiencing consciously is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So maybe you need reworking ideas, feeling a little bit hasty about the way that you are seeking your resources, your abundance, your career, your money, doing that kind of in a hasty, kind of haphazard way, instead of working towards new opportunity with a sense of clarity and direction. So maybe reworking some ideas around how you're obtaining your money and your resources, but also experiencing just a haste around it, possibly because you're challenged by having so many ideas of which way to go. Maybe you don't know which one sort of resource, financial, career path to take at this present moment. And in the subconscious energy is the High Priestess card in the reverse, sometimes associated with Cancer, but really just water intuition energy. So this can be about, in your subconscious energy, having trouble getting in touch with your intuition, which probably doesn't feel so good for, possibly cannot feel so good for a water sign that is used to kind of just taking the form, going with the flow of what's around it, maybe having more trouble in a major arcana kind of way. So the major arcanas right now are working with you in your subconscious energy and in your near future. And so this is not the true counterpart of the Hierophant, but in a way, I sort of see this as the feminine side of the Hierophant, and this is the masculine side of the High Priestess. And so this is in your subconscious energy, this is in your near future. And so you are having trouble getting in touch with that feminine side of your intuition right now. But all of these things that you're doing are, and maybe that has to do with, not being sure which exact route to take in terms of a new financial or career opportunity, but the near future, and having a sense of perfectionism around the work that you're putting in. But in the near future, you are more grounded with this earth sign energy as we move into Virgo season, maybe planning around something to do with spiritual institutions that is going to feel like something that's important for you. The advice card right now is the Empress in the reverse. So this is sort of fertile Venus energy, Taurus, the Hierophant, Libra, an air sign, but not necessarily it's not really maybe time for this abundance of this feminine energy of the Empress, major arcana card, who's abundant and fertile and confident and has everything that they need to help themselves grow, to help other people grow. The advice right now is to maybe take time to give that abundant energy towards itself more than to other people. Scorpios do tend to serve other people very well, similarly to how Virgos do. So Virgos and Scorpios actually, in my experience, really do get along quite well. That water and that earth together, and the mutability with the fixedness, so it's nice to kind of keep a grounding but also a movement there. And so the advice right now is to not necessarily be sitting in that abundant, confident, fertile energy, or to be giving it more specifically to yourself and to other people right now, because it has to come inward before things can go outward in almost all cases. the energy surrounding you right now is the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords, air energy with the Aquarius full moon, having trouble just like making a decision, but like you're weighing that. You're not necessarily feeling overwhelmed by that decision, but you're kind of feeling like you're at a crossroads a little bit. Like, should I go this way? Should I go that way? And that kind of makes sense with your challenge energy being the Seven of Cups. So maybe you just have like options right now and you don't know exactly which way to go. Maybe specifically when it comes to, the air, about communicating your ideas about which idea to move forward with, but it can also have to do with other things, but more specifically around how you're communicating which idea you're going to go with, and maybe that has to do with how are you going to get to this like Hierophant, and so you're kind of you're working on that right now, but having trouble. You're still getting in touch with the intuition. So this person has like all this water there behind them, but they're blindfolded, turned away from it, more thinking about their swords than the water. And so this is maybe just like a full moon energy to explaining that you are kind of feeling like hit at that crossroads, and like you're on the air side more than the water side of things, and that makes sense with having trouble getting in touch with your intuition in this current moment. This was also the worry of Leo. It is currently Leo season, so if you have Leo placements, you might want to watch the Leo reading. But a fear right now is just like not being happy, the Sun card in reverse, just being sad and disappointed and like feeling like you didn't do the happy things that you wanted to do. Intuition is different than feelings, but if we block out our intuition because we're like, oh, that's just feelings, that doesn't matter, that is not helpful. We always want to be kind of balancing heart and mind, and that can be a difficult thing to do. In this case, you are just, you're worried about just not having that sense of happiness and abundance, possibly because you're not getting in touch with that more watery side of your intuition, which is, Scorpio as a water sign, loves to do and is very natural at doing, but like maybe at this point in time there's just another goal, or there's something else that you're working on. And so just a fear of like just not being happy, which I think makes sense, and not getting towards that, that sunshine of the summer solstice, the water signs. An outcome for what's going on here is the Knight of Pentacles. So putting in the work to get that pentacle, to get to that next stage of your, I think this might have also been the outcome card for Virgo, which is the sign right before yours, but you will get to that place of abundance. You are putting in the work to stabilize your resources and to move towards this new opportunity for money or career or resources, whatever that means for you. So you're like realizing you have choices. You're not necessarily sure what the next immediate step might be, but you are moving very assuredly towards the sense of putting in work and persevering, and chasing and getting towards that opportunity for abundance and money and stability. So even though consciously you're feeling like the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, like you're not getting there, and you're feeling like a little fast about your actions, or like a little muddled about like, how am I going to get to this pinnacle, this work that you're moving towards and through, to allow yourself to give this abundant energy towards yourself, to just accept right now. The purpose of mindfulness isn't to clear your head, or to, manifestation is a different thing, but it's not just to clear your head, it's to realize, be mindful of anything you're feeling in a particular moment. And right now you're feeling maybe a little bit perfectionistic as we move into the Virgo season, wanting to chase this pinnacle. It seems like you're focused on, your money and your resources, and you're just realizing that there are so many options. That's like, right, what is the next best one to move forward with? And maybe the purpose of that for you is going to be either what you're working towards, or maybe an energy that will help you move to this next step is developing a more disciplined and clear understanding of your spiritual life. Possibly an institution that you're wanting to set up or be a part of. And your worry is unhappiness and not, getting to where you want to go, which makes sense for Scorpios who want to be on to the next stage of transformation. But the outcome is that like you will reach this, you will reach the next stage of this journey to accumulate resources, or this next stage of your career. And you're divinely guided in that. So framing cards, hills, obstacles to overcome. So yeah, you just are like, there's a lot of things to consider right now. I'm not necessarily feeling highly in touch with my intuition, like I'm on to this next stage of my career planning or my money. At this current moment in time, I'm not sure which way to go. So that sounds like obstacles. Casket, the death card is Scorpio. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. So something is ending. Even if it's just like an idea of who we are or how we think we're supposed to be. So someone or something is going out of your life in this moment to get you onto that next step of the path. And then star and flowers. So star is guaranteed success and flowers is happiness. So don't worry about, this fear of not being happy. Like happiness will come to you. And you are guaranteed, success as you move towards this Knight of Pentacles. Towards that earth energy as we come into Virgo season here. Scorpio. So cleanse, rest, and determination. Blue and yellow together makes green. So cleanse, Scorpio, water sign, the water bearer, Aquarius, full moon coming. Always nice to take like a shower or a bath on the new moon, the full moon, any moon phase placements that are meaningful for you to literally like bring that spiritual to like the practical, and understanding that the practical really is the spiritual, and vice versa. So maybe take a moon bath for the full moon. Cleansing is a beautiful way to show love and appreciation for yourself, your belongings, and your space. It's wiping away the dust and grime to reveal the shine underneath, bringing a sense of calm, ease, and clarity. When this card comes up, ask yourself, what could use a little extra cleansing? How can you give yourself or your space a little extra love? So give yourself this Empress energy, rather than thinking about it for other people in this current moment. Because you're already good at the other one, but make sure that you give it to yourself as well. And that's just like good practice for the rest of it. Rest is essential for all beings. This card symbolizes the need for a little extra downtime to recharge. By giving yourself and your body the rest you need, you'll conserve the energy to achieve your goals with clarity and purpose. So you've been moving out of this period of clarity, and you are moving forward with purpose towards this Pentacle Earth energy. And sometimes it's just good to take a rest. So it's like maybe this sense of perfectionism is kind of telling you in the current moment. It's also saying like rest, like you're putting in the work. You don't have to be like too hard on yourself for how like perfect everything is going to be. This can also be a card that means like procrastination more than putting in all the work. So maybe feeling slowed down about this, how you're accumulating your money and your resources and moving forward with your career. So maybe this is just, sometimes the universe just stops us and says, okay, it's time to rest. And so resting could be helpful. To just meditate on the space you are in the current moment, not always just be moving forward and transforming all the time. And like being given a lot of options, not being sure like where to go, that's all sort of like a little bit of a hold on there from the universe, like just like rest in this space, sense what's going on so that you're coming from more stable footing with the earth to move forward. Determination looks like the sun for Leo season there. Determination can give you the energy to reach your goals. This card lets you know that the summit of the mountain is within your reach. Really take a moment to tap into this feeling and this extra energy. Also, if you're feeling tired, don't be afraid to ask people for help or look at the obstacle in a new way to renew your spirit. So if you're feeling tired, then rest. And look at all these beautiful options that you have in this current moment as you work towards the top of the mountain. And to give yourself like an allowance that it's okay to like feel like a little, like there's some amount of procrastination or block, and especially the way that you are accumulating money and resources. Death and taxes is definitely the Scorpio 8th house. And so like you're working on your money. The Scorpios can be on the lower vibe, like almost like obsessed with money and power and everything, but it's an important part of like who they are as that opposition from Taurus, the earth sign, helping each other to balance out. And so you are determined, certainly, but maybe right now is the time to just like rest and cleanse so that you can get on to the next leg of the journey. Scorpio. Prosperity lies ahead. I think this one also came up for Virgo. So again, Scorpios and Virgos. I think it was Virgo. They do get along. But prosperity lies ahead. So this pinnacle journey that you're on, like you will get there. You'll have the resources, the money, the abundance that you need. But maybe right now it's just like a time for rest and reflection. And whatever prosperity means to you, that lies ahead. That's why the earth sign is not just about money. Money gives us a sense of stability and safety, but prosperity can mean lots of different things to different people. Abundance means different things. Beyond death, life. So Scorpio is the death card. Transformation. Number 1. Footprints lead to the shore of the sea. Beyond that point, no trace remains. I'm calling to you. Can you hear me? Listen. Within your heart, there I speak. My voice rings true. You are urged beyond what has been. The time has come. Lay it to rest now. To rest. This ending comes as grace to free you from all that you have known. For what you have known is now too small for your soul. Bear your uncertainty with equanimity. Bear your uncertainty. These choices, this uncertainty surrounding you. With equanimity. I am certain enough for both of us. Allow me to show you the light that you are. The summer solstice, the water signs that burns within you. Leo season, blazing angel of heavenly purity, purification. Definitely Virgo and Scorpio. I will unveil you to yourself, undressing your ego, casting aside its layers, as tender as a lover, with unwavering attention upon the sacred body of light. You shall know yourself in truth, as pure beyond all experience, untainted, ever innocent. Ever innocent. So don't worry about losing that. As a pure vessel, stripped bare, ready for the divine revelation, as light, as life, as love. You are a beautiful, blazing soul, having a human experience that defies explanation and opens you up to divinity. That is what is happening in your life now, whether the death is obvious and painful to you, or whether you are uncertain as to how it is as yet showing up in your life. Either way, there is an ending imminent, and a new life coming to you with greater opportunity for your radiant soul to shine its beauty in the world. Grasp it eagerly, beloved. Now is not the time for fear or hesitation. Focus on what is becoming, whilst honoring what is no longer to be. So focus on just like what's happening here while you honor what is going to take place. And it's okay to like feel a little bit of that rest, because prosperity does lie ahead. And this is ending on master number 22 here. So you are part of divinity, and you'll get to this next stage of things. You're just uncertain about which way to go, but like when you're uncertain about yourself, sometimes someone steps in and has to be like certain of a certain kind of hope or transformation for you. And so with a death or a change, with obstacles and like something or some idea or person leaving your life, there is a new life after that because we live in a cycle. We don't live in a line. Thanks for joining, Scorpio.